Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today I want to talk about and highlight Nvidia earnings and what a blowout earnings it was. Again, this is a company that consistently continues to deliver, and as usual, I am very happy to see the results on a top and bottom line beat. You can see on a GAAP basis, they had total revenue of $7.1 billion this quarter. That is a new record, following up another quarterly record that we saw in Q2. Again, just absolutely ridiculous numbers right there. The next thing that I want to highlight is that their diluted earnings per share was 97 cents. Normally, I believe they were using the non-GAAP, which is the $1.17. Again, a top and bottom line beat on both sides of the equation. Incredibly impressive to continue to grow at the rate that they're growing. And one of the key things to highlight here, and this is one of the reasons why they are my favorite company, is gross margin of 65%. This is, again, absolutely ridiculous. If you compare this to any other company out there, you would be very hard pressed to find someone who at this level is growing on a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, at 50%, and they're able to do so as profitably as Nvidia. It's absolutely insane. And as you can see, what I really want to highlight is some of the revenue by market platform. The biggest gains that we've seen, I want to highlight year over year. This gaming segment, again, they are a graphics card company. That's chiefly where they have been their bread and butter. It has consistently been, with the acquisition of Mellanox last year, the data center piece was continuing to grow, but this gaming segment is up 42% year over year, that you can see there on the right hand side. The data centers are up another 55% year over year, and they have guided higher on all of these fronts. One of the things that we also saw in the other segment down here below, this included their crypto cards that they were selling. They were not interested in having their gaming segment cannibalized by crypto enthusiasts who were trying to get their graphics cards to build their own mining rigs. So they created graphics cards specific for crypto, and that was built into this component right here. So one of the things that they're expecting to see is they expect this automotive segment to continue to grow. It's up year over year, 8%, but down quarter over quarter, 11%. They said some of that was supply constraint driven. I completely understand it, but all in all, I'm not too worried about the automotive segment. Their cards and their graphics, or their chips, are fantastic and definitely something that a lot of people like to utilize, primarily Mercedes. However, it's not their key business line. So one of the things that I want to highlight going forward is they actually raised guidance for Q4. So they're expecting that to continue to go up more than analysts were originally expecting. So in my personal opinion, I think we are going to see another $7 billion quarter. They guided for $7.4 billion, where analyst expectations were $6.8 billion for Q4. I believe the expectation here is that we will continue to see that gross margin in excess of 60%, hopefully close to the 65% that you see here. Again, just absolutely insane, as well as some of the things that they said associated with the current acquisition target of ARM, which is a large UK and really a huge presence in China, to build out data center and chips and such. There are a lot of the foundry basis for what Nvidia could utilize. They still guided forward. The expectation is that that will continue to close. I'm not as set on that, but they will continue to, again, push forward. One of the things that they'll talk about is they need regulatory approval from the United States, UK, European Union, and China. This is a lot of people who have to say yes, and there are going to be a lot of people who want a piece of that, primarily China and the UK. So it'll be interesting to see how that is forecasted and what the expectation will be. And just to reiterate again, as this is in here, is that revenue is expected to be $7.4 billion, and that gross margin is expected to be even higher than it was this quarter. So this is, again, one of the reasons why I love the company. They continue to exceed expectations every single quarter. They should be, in my opinion, the top company growth-wise, but I am having concerns about current stock valuation. They are north of 700 billion, or closing in on $700 billion market cap, especially if you look at it with diluted shares. However, the company on an annual basis, I think we're looking at this year going to have total revenues in excess of 25 billion. But that is a far cry from a $1 trillion company and a 700 billion. I think the ARM acquisition could change things, but all in all, I do have concerns about the current valuation, but that could be applied to the broader market. So as long as the party's going, keep it running. At this point in time, though, I do highlight I am not purchasing additional shares of Nvidia because it is something that I do have concerns associated with the current valuation. But if you are holding, I encourage you to hold. If you have the capability to sell covered calls, I always encourage selling covered calls. If you want to learn about what that is, and if you want to see trades that I'm making, feel free to check that out in the Discord in the description down below. It's free to join, and we have a pretty awesome group in there that we talk about a lot of this stuff. And if you find this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks. Talk to you later.